Okay, so I'm actually going to talk about the natural mechanism between the fire, water, air, earth elements and things of that nature. So fire signs being well, I'm explaining the fire energy, the goddamn water energy, the air energy, and then the earth energy, and each sign that it kind of like represents, incorporates to, and stuff like that. Because all these things are like things like we create within the mind and things of that nature. But I'm trying to explain it from like the natural essence, and then I can explain it from the actual material, external reference. So like the manifesting all the way down to the material. So the whole like cycling system and things of that nature of like the yin yang aspects of both and stuff like that. That's really the main point. Like, I want to explain like the yin yang aspects of both and how you can apply it, and then you're able to actually sufficiently do your positive, negative, masculine, feminine qualities from like a more expanded state of being and stuff like that, because you get from like the natural mechanism and starting point, so it actually has a better solution based upon like you actually doing it in a better, sufficient, more process instead of like doing it, backwards as fucking things of that nature. So the fire would be like the fire and the fire and desire, in like the lightest state of being you could be in, you being in spirit. So to make it more simple, that's like Aries, Leo, Sagittarius type energy. So being able to have your own type of personal assertion and self-expression, and some type of inner child value that you can consolidate into and things of that nature, and like being able to express yourself, be yourself, no matter who around, be vulnerable, be like your full authentic self, like naked. You know what I'm saying? Like naked as in like being vulnerable, like from like an actual like spiritual space type perspective, not like an actual like a what they call that, like a damn exhibitionist type perspective. Like, I mean, that count too and shit like that with public sex, because you gotta be pretty bold on some Leo shit to even do some shit like that. But like, yeah, like that, and like knowledge of wisdom, and like expansion contraction. So being able to go through like those experiences, and like understanding your own and other people's expressions, but being able to like make yourself out the pack of having your own little pocket of like you expressing your inner fire and actually making that become to fruition, and having your own like emotion and feeling about it. And then the emotion and feeling about it will be like the water. So you like to soak in and internalize your emotions and feelings and stuff like that. Like the fire will be like externalizing the fire, aka your own vision and how you see things, and then the water would be like the internalizing it. So you like to soak in and internalize these things for some type of home comfort, security, like internal security for the most part, like subconscious dream, imagination, or some type of like in-depth like alternative motive, or like manipulation behind the scenes realm type of energy and things of that nature. So like you going undercover, you sitting there trying to understand like the shadow, the dark realm, your actual internal self, like the yin and stuff like that. I'm gonna get to the yin part. I'm gonna get to the yin and yang portion and shit. And then the air would be like the atmosphere and stuff like that. So like you feeling the wind and things of that nature. So like that's like socializing, like communicating, thinking and communicating, and like actually externalizing that, and like understanding that within your environment, and like relationships, close friends, siblings, friends, associates, getting into the unknown, unfamiliar, broadcasting it, and like networking and things of that nature. Really like that, the whole like network energy and shit like that. And then the earth will be like how he is right now, material wise and stuff like that. Like I'm on a fucking phone and shit like that. So like that growth, that nourishment, that being stable, getting the bag, getting the money and things of that nature. Getting some type of like business status, like actually substantiating that like foundation, and like being in that the root of it, aka like planting good seeds and things of that nature, and watching that thing grow. And like the same way how you go outside, you see the goddamn trees and nature and all that type of shit. Like all the way down to like the physical perspective and things of that nature. Like everything we see right now. So fire sign, like I said earlier, would be like the Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and then water would be goddamn Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Air would be the Gemini, Libra, goddamn Aquarius energy, and then Earth will be the Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn portion, and things of that nature. So like each element being the fire, water, air, earth, representation, and then they all have modality. So that's like being mutable, being fixed, and being carnal and stuff like that. And then each portion have their own yin and yang, aka masculine and feminine portion of how you're supposed to look at it and things of that nature. Now we actually are creating things within the mind of things of that nature. So the fire and water will be like the internal, and the earth and air will be internal with things of that nature. I know I said earlier how like Aries and Sag and Leo, they're like external and stuff like that, but it's like it's like a pocket within a pocket. But I'm only explaining like the yin and yang portion when it comes to the elements and things of that nature. So like the fire and water, that's like you having like a vision, but from you having that vision, you're going to externalize a vision. So you like to show your external emotions and feelings and stuff like that. So the minute you like receive something, that intuition, you're just going to externalize it immediately and things of that nature. That's why those signs even act like the way they act like and stuff like that. And then the water signs, like they'll receive something and then they'll soak in it. They'll internalize, which makes them more sensitive to the senses. But at the same time, that's how they can learn their emotional state of being. But also the same way how they can get their emotional state of being ruptured the easiest and things of that nature. And then the air and earth portion will be the externalization and stuff like that. Now don't get confused like, oh, it's something like physically they doing and stuff like that. Because the same way how I'm talking right now, I can give you a peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? Or like food for thought. I'm just saying words, but I'm giving you food for thought. You receive something from me giving out something, but I'm not giving you something physical, but it's like a substance and stuff like that. So don't think this shit's pseudo. Like don't get lost. Like don't like keep like materializing, like trying to make it something like real when like I'm saying real shit. Like you know what I'm saying? Like yeah. So like yeah, like the goddamn air and earth would be like the masculine and feminine portion, but like they're like the external. So like the fire and water is like the internal, and the air and earth is the external, and there's a feminine and masculine yin and yang within both. So there's a yin and yang, masculine and feminine within the fire and water, and there's a masculine, feminine, yin and yang within the air and earth and stuff like that. And then overall, the fire and water will be like the internal thing. So like this is like right brain. It like to like give like a separate way of how you look at it, man. That fucking thunder and shit. But like that's one way of you can look at it, and then you have the left brain and shit like that, where goddamn you having like the left brain portion, it has its own thing of the external and like the yin and yang and stuff like that. So when it comes to the fire and stuff like that, the fire is the yin and yang. What do I mean by that? All right. So like the yin is like feminine, internal, nighttime, shade, like the darkness, the internal and shit like that. The yang, external, masculine, daytime, all that type shit for the most part. Masculine, my fault, masculine too. And then, right, the fire portion would be like the yin yang. Why is it yin yang? Because to produce the fire, right, you need to have your own sight and vision of how you want something to go, right? You have like I'm giving you like a whole mechanism of how this shit play out for real. So it's the same thing when you sit there, you look at like an astrology zodiac wheel, and it's like the previous sign and then the sign after the fact. So like what's before Aries? You got Pisces. What's after Aries? You got Taurus. And the same thing, you can apply that for Leo and shit like that. You got Leo, the what's before that, Cancer. What's after that? Virgo, Sagittarius, and shit. And I'm only gonna do this for like for the first one, so I can like move along and get to like the next shit. Sagittarius, you got Scorpio, and then you got Capricorn right after the Sagittarius, right? So like boom, for that fire portion, it's the yin yang. You have some type of dream and imagination, so it gives you some type of vision. So from you having that type of vision, you want to burn something through reality, and you want to externalize it and actually make that real, that emotion and feeling, and externalize it. It becomes yang. It becomes external. So you take something that's internal based upon your own self-expression, assertion, and knowledge and wisdom, and trying to go through some type of experience, and you make it external. So the fire will be yin yang, internal, external, input, output, dream and imagination. You got some type of sight vision you want to go through, and like, you know what I'm saying, it's going to come through some type of self-expression, action, attitude, feeling, emotion, and you make it external, aka you make it real. So like Pisces, Aries, then Taurus and shit. Like this, it's the same process. And then boom, all right. So that's the fire. The fire portion would be like the yin yang, and it's the internal energy, right? Then you got water. That's the yin yin. So like I said before, is yin. So that's feminine. That's darkness. That's internal. That's nighttime. You know what I'm saying? That's like darkness and things of that nature, right? It's the yin yin. It's like the black and shit like that. When you be seeing like that yin and yang with the white black concept and stuff like that, right? Boom. It's the yin yin. It likes to go internal, receive something, right? And then soak into the emotion and feelings and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? It makes them sensitive to the senses and things of that nature. But that's what makes them have their own mood, their own vibration, their own like, vibe and things of that nature. But at the same time, why they can get like be so moody or get emotionally erupted based upon the energies outside of them and things of that nature. So it's like they receive something, so they internalize what they received. With the fire portion, they receive something, then they externalize what they receive. You know what I'm saying? With the water and shit like that, being in the water, and like, you sitting there, you learn how to swim, whether it's fucking, you going deep submerged into the shit, so like Scorpio type of energy, right? You going with the wave, you ride on the wave, so like Cancer type of energy, or, you know what I'm saying? You just sitting there floating, going with the flow, with the whole energy itself, so like Pisces type of energy, right? It's the yin yin. Literally, you receive something, feminine, and then from what you receive, you internalize it. Literally. Like, yeah. So, like I said before, okay, let's use fucking Cancer. Cancer, fourth sign. Then what's before Cancer? Gemini. What's after Cancer? Leo. So, it's Gemini, which is an external sign. What's Gemini? Being mutable of your own way of thinking, communicating, and stuff like that, and making sense out of it, and trying to make sense out of like your environment based upon what you're familiar with, and like socializing and stuff like that, which is why they're good at socializing. Then that's an external sign because they're externalizing what they're thinking. So that's left brain. They're rationalizing it, they're practicalizing it, they're making sense out of it by understanding their own way of thinking, other people's ways of thinking, and then going to Cancer, and that's dealing with initiating, creating new ways to deal with your emotions and feelings, and get into that nurturing, motherly type of quality, and like self-reflecting, and like receiving and things of that nature, and having some type of home, internal realm, comfortability, family, domestic issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, that you like dealing with and things of that nature. They like to be in those type of circumstances, and that's an internal energy. That's a feminine sign. And then you got Leo, and it's a fire sign, which is also feminine based upon they like to externalize their visions of being center stage. So being fixated of their own way of seeing and feeling, of being center stage and having some type of self-expression or entertainment, inner child type of quality and things of that nature, and getting attention and like doing that through the actions and shit like that. So boom, Gemini being like a yang sign, and then it's two yin signs after that. You know what I'm saying? So like a Cancer would take the thought and communication from how they think and how other people think, then they'll internalize it, and then they'll see it in a center stage type way. You know what I'm saying? They'll see it in a goddamn inner child type of way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they'll sit there and try to like it's like they'll fixate on that emotion and feeling so they can externalize what they sense in that Cancer portion based upon the Gemini portion, the way everyone else think. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna end up going to a whole different concept. I'm not gonna lie, but like, I'm just trying to make it simple so like y'all understand. Anybody who like into astrology and shit like that, and then go based off what I was saying earlier, they know what the fuck I'm trying to say. Like, they know what I'm talking about. And then we're gonna get into the air portion. Yang, they like to externalize what they've already externalized. So they like to externalize what they already thought. They like to externalize their thinking, communication, and stuff like that. So that's left brain. So they already externalize how they think and communicate and analyze and like use their intellect and stuff like that, right? And then from what they already externalize, they externalize again and shit like that. On some like, you know what I'm saying? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius type shit. So like they already express how they think about you. So based upon them putting that out there, they want to understand how it's like literally like socializing, like literally like how I'm talking right now, right? Based upon how other people are talking about what I'm talking about, I'm gonna talk some more. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like yapping shit. Like that's why air signs, they always in the atmosphere and they understand how to socialize. And they be like socialize and stuff like that. And even if you ain't like the most extroverted social ass nigga, you do know how to think and communicate your own way of thinking, communicating. And you look at other people's style of doing it, and you know if you in that box or not, and you know how to like go with the winds, go with the flow, and things of that nature. See what's in the atmosphere, see what's in the environment of how everyone's talking and practicalizing and making sense out of things, and you make sense out of that. So like how other people talking, you kind of be in your little pocket of how you talk, and if other people yapping, you gonna make sense out of how you yapping within the yap. Like, I hope I'm making sense. Like, yeah, it's literally like that. Like, so it's like you're literally thinking, communicating, analyzing, using your intellect. You know what I'm saying? Rationalizing, making sense out of things in your own way, and you're like you know, you're like showing that, and then from you showing that, you make sense of how other people are showing that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they're good at like networking. That's why they're good at relationships. That's why they're good at understanding how everybody thinks about shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And then the last portion is yang yin. You know what I'm saying? Organ implosion. The reason I say organ implosion, because it's like from the outside in, not from the inside out. That's a whole different concept, right? You're supposed to be doing things from the inside out, not from the outside in. When you do things from the outside in, that's like organ implosion. So like the same mechanism of how you make your organs and stuff like that, based upon your own spirit, soul, body, and things of that nature, and like your own mind and like your own life, body, and things of that nature. So like when you do things from the inside in, it's from the internal, and then you externalize it. When you do it from the outside in, you caring about other representations, other thoughts, ideas, feelings, emotions, what people say outside of you, and you're internalizing it. When you should be like you should be able to have the discernment and receive, and you still gonna have your same sentiment. You can just add it on to what you got going on, and be able to have that balance. The minute it's unbalanced is when you care too much about what's externally going on, and you start internalizing it when you should be internalizing shit so you can externalize it. Okay, you still have that same vision, dream, imagination, and the way you look at it, and you're going to get it done regardless of the external representation you got right now, because you manifest it and you want to materialize a whole different reality, create that portal and that Stargate to go through something and shit, transformation. So that's like going through an experience. Like literally, you want to experience a whole different life, and the way you got shit going on in your mind, it may be different what's going on like in your surroundings. Okay, you could be in the hood, you had to make a heaven out of a hell. What's going on in your mind and the shit you doing shit for may be one thing, and you dead ass broke, but you know one day you not always gonna have this physically externally going on, so you hold on to that long enough, your internal reality, aka dream imagination, the way you see things, is gonna become your external reality. You're not gonna be in that circumstance no more, and you actually gonna be living how you dreamt for real. You know what I'm saying? You gonna get that new whip and shit like that, and your ass was in a goddamn Toyota 2006. Oh God, like yeah. So it go back into that earth portion, like I was saying. So that earth portion, that's like goddamn yang yin. So you like to externalize, so like physical, so like material and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's like it's like you work hard going at a job 9 to 5 to go get money, and you like to receive from what you externalize. You like the benefits from your job, aka the money, and you like what like the pleasure it makes you feel internally from what you did, because it was a hard day's work. You work hard for that money. So like from the external shit you got, you like, damn, I can sit in, I'm eating good, I'm getting good, I feel good right now, because all that hard work I put in and shit like that. Man, I just got a new position at my job, man, I'm doing good right now, you know what I'm saying, because I really grinded for that shit, you know what I'm saying, like, earthly external shit. You just can't get too lost because it's gonna cause organ implosion and shit like that. Yeah, you can enjoy like appreciate from what like you externalize and like the pleasure you get from it and receive and things of that nature. But don't lose sight of the core of what you want to do that shit in the first place.